Cool. Starting off again with the videos, creating from a place of allowing myself to be unfinished. I had to take a break in order for me to understand how to reapproach the creative process. I got really caught up in all of the external validation, and I completely lost touch with how to create. I was unconsciously getting caught up in my mind, which was focusing on the product, the end product, and also the final results of the end product, the what I think other people want me to create, which I think is natural when you look at what people are saying, how people are reacting to certain things, and then you start to think, okay, cool, I need to now create something like this again, because your mind is like, it craves that control, that certainty, that and when it gets that from the external, it thinks, oh yeah, okay, so definitely if I just create something like this again, then I can, and it's like I'm getting caught up in it, sort of thing, and I'm forgetting that I started this off not for views, I started this off not for validation, I started this off for me, so then I can learn and grow in the process of it. And I completely got disconnected from that. So now I'm focusing on my non-noise coming up. Now I'm focusing on grounding myself back into the process of creativity. Grounding myself back into the process of creativity, and making it a process where I'm disconnected from controlling the outcome. And I went through this process where I was like, okay, I recognize that it's my ego that is doing this. It's my ego which is trying to control everything. So I was like, how do I disconnect from that? And then I was like looking into spiritual practices, like how can I devote my practices to God? How can I make everything basically an act of service, so it's not got anything to do with me? And I was doing that, but it wasn't really, it is important and it has its place, but it wasn't treating what it is that was going on. Because what I realized I was still doing, that my mind was doing, was when I realized this, I was like, okay, cool, I need to take a break, I need to get back into this creative process. And then I was trying to reconnect with my spiritual side, disconnecting from my ego. But then I was waiting for a perceived ideal reality for me to be ready to start making videos. It was like, oh yeah, when I understand this mental concept, then I can start making videos. When I can, yeah, it's like when I feel like this, when I start doing this, then I'll start making videos. And I'm delaying myself, not even just creatively, but also from a feeling perspective. I'm delaying a feeling of enough, delaying a feeling of enjoyment until I understand this, until I reach this goal, until I have this. And I realized that, like, my mind does this. It's like my mind creates these ideal perceived realities, not even just creatively, but in relationships, in my personal growth. I like imagine this ideal reality where I am this person, and it's all sorted out, and this perfect video and this perfect relationship, and it's it's a coping mechanism which I was unaware of. It's like I daydream and I go into this fantasy about it's gonna look like this, and I'm gonna be like this, and all of it takes me out of the present moment and is very ungrounding. And it gives me this temporary like thing where it's like, oh yeah, like I'm dreaming of like this thing and like all that kind of stuff. But ultimately it takes me out of the present moment, grounding me in reality. So now what I am practicing is grounding myself in reality, realizing that I am enough now to start. I need to embrace my imperfections, my unfinishedness, and realize that that is what the creative process is about. It's about just creating from the heart as you are now, and not until I understand something, whatever, or trying to create something because I think that will work. It's backwards, I've realized. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start making videos again for myself, to get myself back into this process of talking, and ultimately letting go of this idea that my mind is creating. I recognized that I was doing it before, where I created in my last video. I was talking about how I noticed my mind is telling me that I'm not ready to start making a video, so I'm just going to start making a video. And it was like a good start to all of the stuff that I've just realized. But this is basically what I've realized. It's like I'm like waiting to figure things out rather than just like doing it and then allowing myself to just like for inspiration to come up in each moment. And yeah, just trusting that everything will unfold as it should, and not striving for a perceived ideal reality, and instead just embracing the current, embracing what is now, and realizing that that is beautiful, that is the essence, that is what it is that I should be grounded in. Okay, what else actually? Because there was another thing that I realized as well while I'm here talking. There was another thing. Okay. Well, actually, yeah, I'm not going to explain this perfectly, but the way out of this is through anticipation. So the way out of this is for me to follow my intuition, allow myself to be present every single day, like really present, like intentionally present, whether that be through meditation or just like allowing myself to be bored. Trusting my intuition might be, my intuition is like telling me, God, that is loud. My intuition is telling me to read this book or to search this up, or it's like a question that's coming up, and then if I follow that, then it leads me towards something. My point is that I need to follow these yeses within my body and these no's within my body, because that's what your intuition is. It's always leading you towards an expansion, whereas your mind is generally quite constrictive, and that's where all the doubts and the fears and all of that kind of stuff. And I realized that awareness is the best thing that I have, because if I become aware of these patterns, then I'm realizing that I have the power to choose. My mind has so much power and potential for creative invention in solutions. Like, oh, I've been thinking like this and I've been behaving like this, and it's actually not working. It's not serving me. It doesn't work. So how can we change, sort of thing? And I think creating that detachment is really big, because then you can actually start to make changes. I realized before I was using a lot of I am statements. I am this, I am that, where I was identifying with this feeling or this way of being, sort of thing. And now I notice that, like, if I just say, oh, I'm feeling like this at the moment, but that isn't fixed, I like to refer to my higher self, because I like to think, what would my higher self do in this situation? And then that allows me to sort of disconnect and then think, okay, cool. My higher self would probably not be worrying from this place, or it allows me to sort of go deeper and to question, is there a solution? Is there like a better way of approaching this? Because this just doesn't feel right. It's not working. And yeah, here I am. I'm making videos again. So yeah. Cool. I feel good that I've started again, and I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad I started, and may it continue.